So we done DHCP theory. So what is DHCP? Dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, you give IP address to the clients. It has an IP address to client devices automatically. And there is a advantages or a usage of a DHCP server devices wise and process DORA process discover offer request acknowledgement. Okay. Next, how to implement a DHCP server. So how to install a role and features. Okay, as per this, I've written DHCP server in a separate server, but actually we installed in a main domain controller only. Okay, the next one is DHCP lease. Okay, DHCP the lease duration. Okay, so the lease means lease duration. So if you see your server, here is the server. It is locked. Okay, so you can see a lease duration here. It is showing this is the expiry lease expiration. 10 minutes is a lease duration I given. In for a client also, you can go to client. In a client also, you got an IP address with a certain lease duration, lease uptime, lease expiry. What is this lease and how it will be extend? We'll see this one. Okay. Um, so look at here. I'm going to show you in a slide view type. This is a lease renewal. Means whenever you got an IP address, you'll get a obtained and as well as a expiry time. But before expiry means total lease duration is there. For example, you take a 10 minutes lease duration. Out of 10 minutes lease duration, 5 minutes is a 50% of lease duration. So what is your DHCP client will do once it is reached 50% of lease duration, renewal process will start. What is this renewal? DHCP server send a request. Sorry, DHCP client sends a request. What? Disconnect. It just disconnected and connected. Okay, guys, can you able to see my screen? Able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So DHCP client send a DHCP request to the server for extending of lease duration. So DHCP server send an acknowledgement packet. Yes, now you will extend your lease duration. If in case you fail to do that once, again renewal process starts at 87.5 percentage of lease duration. 87.5 percentage of lease duration is also expired. 100% completed. Then again client has to do discovery part. So I will explain it again. So with a diagram. Okay. This is my server. This is my client. Okay. This is my server S1. This is client C1. This is a DHCP server. It is a client. So using a DORA process, starting one is DORA process, right? So discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. So finally you got a IP address and lease duration. Okay. So what if it is there is no lease duration? What will happen? It is try to understand. If you don't get it, also we'll go to the next point. Okay. No problem. For example, think like this. I have 100 computers are there. 100 computers are there. 100 IP addresses are there. From DHCP server, give IP address 100. So 100 IP addresses are there. 100 computers are there. Assigned. Assigned. Understand? So 100 computers assigned with IP address from DHCP server. 100 IP addresses, 100 computers. Completed. Completed. Now what happened? After few days, I removed 20 computers from it. I removed 20 computers from out of 100. Now how many computers are there? Only 80 computers are there in my network. But as per my server, as per my server, 100 IP addresses are utilized. Initially, 100 computers, 100 IP addresses. So server note down everything, like it prepare a list. In that list, this IP for this computer, this IP for this computer, like a 10 dot 10 for PCA, dot 11 for PCB, dot 12 like a PCC, like that. It load down everything in a list part. So that is, so server will note down. So what are the IP address is given to whom, which PC not down. So 100 computers, 100 pieces. Now lease duration is not there. Any no lease duration kind of concept is not there. So what happened? 100 computers are there, 100 IP addresses are utilized. Now I removed 20 computers from the network. We have only 80 computers. But still server says I utilized already 100 IP addresses for 100 computers. Now what happened? I added 10 computers. Now it is showing 90 computers in my network, but I have 100 IP addresses. So these 10 computers don't get any kind of IP address. Why? Because of, as per my DHCP server, 100 is utilized. 100 is utilized. The new 10 computers, the computers, new 10 computers, not old computer, it is new 10 computers are attached. It's saying I don't have any IP address now. Problem? Okay. So think like this. You have a register. It's a static type of register type, like means it is a register. In the register you have to write down everything, like this is for particular user, like that. You have written a note. So right, in the register you have to put a IP address and computer name. You prepared a list, 100 IP addresses and 100 computer names. List is prepared. Now the computers are removed, but you don't know it is removed or not. So what we think, 100 computers and 100 IP addresses are utilized. Utilized. You don't know whether in the network computers are removed or not. So what you think? You don't know, no? So you think 100 IP addresses are utilized. Now new computers are came. So 10 computers are added now. So 80 is there now. 10 is new computers are added. So these 10 computers require an IP address. So request go to DHCP server. So DHCP server check it. How many IP addresses are available? 100% utilized. It says we don't have any IP address. That is the problem will occur if you don't have lease duration. So this is a thing. It is there. Next, what is this lease duration? What is this lease duration? Think like this. Lease duration is around 4 hours. Lease duration. You can take any hours, no problem. 80 days is there, but think a small amount, that is we given a 10 minutes only. We but here it is, we go with the 4 hours, or 2 hours is better. I'm going with the 4 hours. 4 hours total lease duration. Morning 9 o'clock I started my computer, so obviously I got a IP address at morning 10 o'clock 9 o'clock. Think like this: morning 9 o'clock I start my computer, I got an IP address. 4 hours lease duration means when it is expiry. 4 hours, add 4 hours to it. 9 plus 4, guys. Very good. Screen is not visible. Now screen is visible. The screen is visible or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Very good. Okay, so tell me, guys, 9 plus 4, 13 means 1 o'clock. This is a lease expiry. Lease expiry. Got it? Lease uptime, lease expiry. So what is the 50 percentage of total lease duration? Total total lease, out of total 50% total lease duration. How many hours? 2 hours. अरे, so today okay, no problem. 50% of total lease duration is nothing but a 2 hours, right? So 9 plus 2 meaning is 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock renew process will start. At 11 o'clock renew process will start. The client send a request. Client send a request to the server. Server give the acknowledgement. Not complete DORA, guys. Only request and acknowledgement only there. Okay. Client send a request at 11 o'clock. Please extend my lease duration. Then server send an acknowledgement. So extend the lease duration for next 4 hours. Like this. What is the next 4 hours? 11 plus 4. 15. Right? 11 plus 4. 15. This is the new expiry time. This is new expiry time. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Next renewal will start 50% of lease duration, again 2 hours. So 11 o'clock extension is occurred, so 1500. So what happened at 1 o'clock? At 1 o'clock again request and acknowledgement will occur. Again renewal process will occur. Okay, so this is your lease duration works. The question is, if in case at 12:45, at 12:45 a problem is occurred. Either my client is shut down, either client is disconnected, or server is disconnected. What happened? So any kind of reason I am unable to do the renew process for any kind of reason. It is either client is shut down, a client is disconnected, okay, so or a server is disconnected from network. So whatever the reason it is, client is unable to client is unable to do the renew process at 1 o'clock. So what happens again? Again, renew process starts at 87.5% of a total lease duration. Think is like it is around 87 means almost 90%. So how to calculate 90%? If you take 100 minutes, then we can say 90 87 the minute. Okay. So 4 hours. 4 hours means how many minutes? 4 into 60. 240 minutes. 240 minutes. 240 by 240 with 87.5. Around 87.5. How to calculate it is 90 90. Uh, out of 49 and 4 36. So it's around this. Again, we have to convert into hours, right? So 99, 3 hours, not 4 hours, so 3 hours, 36 minutes, something is there. Okay. So 3 hours, 40 minutes, think like that. So 11 means almost like a 14, 40. Think like this. Just I don't no need to worry about what is the timing. Understand the concept. Out of total lease duration, 87.5%. Again, renewal process will start. Again, renewal process is start. But if in case, again, if in case, if it is failed at that point also, either it should be by 50% of total lease duration or 87.5 percentage of total lease duration, it should be renewal. If you fail in that point also, 100% completed. 100% completed. Now what happened? In a list, server has a list, right? So it removed from the list. Your client information will be removed from the list. So IP address become free. So IP address can be assigned to any other available PC if required. Okay. So in this same concept, in the same concept, so what happened? 100 computers are there, 20 computers are remote, so 80 computers only there. So DHCP server get a renew process from 80 computers, but not from this 20 computers. So what it will do, it remove the 20 computers from list. Okay, from list it remove the 20 computers. Then what happened? So 10 computers are added and it is asking for an IP address. Okay, so it will verify any IP address is available. Yes, some there is a certain IP addresses are not done a renew, so maybe 20 addresses are available. It gave 10 IP addresses to PC. So these are all will get a IP addresses. That is the advantage of lease duration. Lesser the lease duration, more traffic increases. Okay, lesser the lease duration, more traffic increases. Meaning is, if I put at 10 minutes, so lease duration starts at every 5 minutes. But what is the benefit? So I no need to wait for a 4 hours or 5 hours, 8 days or like that. I no need to wait for long time whether client is there or not. 5 minutes completed, renew process will start. Okay, 10 minutes completed, Renew process is not done, remove from the list. Assign new IP address if it is required. Again, DORA process. One second, one second. Uh, and second. Okay. So this is like that. But what happened? Every 5 minutes, renew process is going on. Every 5 minutes, renew process is going on. Again, what happened? Internet is not stable. Every 5 minutes. So what happens? So many requests for DHCP server. Not only IP address request, also request and acknowledgement. Renew process is also will increases at a DHCP server. So what happening here? Continue. So better it is if you take 8 days. 8 days. 8 days lease duration is 4 days. Okay. So less traffic, but list should be maintained for at least 80 days. 8 days, the list should be like that only, no change in that one. So that's the point here. The higher means delay, lower time duration, more traffic. So understand that point. Guys, understand lease duration. What is total lease duration? Lease uptime, lease expiry, renew process, 50%, 87.5% of a lease duration. Client has to renew lease period at 50% of total lease duration. Okay. If client failed to renew at 50% of lease duration, next renew process at 87.5 percentage of total lease duration. Okay. If client if 100% lease duration completed, first of all server removes the IP address and client mapping, client name from where, from list, from address lease, from here address lease, address release, array lease, lease or release, lease. Okay. And client has to do DORA process again. So this is about your lease duration. I took a 4 hours example, 4 hours lease duration. 4 hours lease duration. So morning 9 o'clock. Obtain IP address means lease uptime. Okay. Then it is automatically, this is the time is lease expiry. Okay. 50% of total 50% of total duration is enough. 50% of total duration is, now it is 2 hours. 50% of lease duration is nothing but a 2 hours. Meaning is at 11:00 a new process starts. So here it is a one more point. Renew process, only two things are request a acknowledgement. Only two things, request and acknowledgement. Request and acknowledgement only. So renew process starts. Then lease extend to other 4 hours. Meaning is the next lease expiry is 1500. Lease expiry is 1500. If client failed at 50%, renew at 50% of lease duration. Next one is try at 8.5%. You want to calculate, you can calculate also. What is the exact time next time? 87%. Okay. First thing is convert your 4 hours into 60 minutes, 240 minutes, and calculate a percentage in it. 240, where is the percentage calculation? To change it standard, yeah, percentage is there. So 240 minutes into 87.5%, 210. It's showing 210, or really or not, we don't know. Okay, so we think like this, 210. Yeah, oh, you should not remove that one. So I got 210 divided by 60. 3.5 means 3 hours 50 minutes. Meaning is 3 hours 50 minutes is that one. So for example, it is failed at 50%. So then next to 3.5 hours, the new process should be starts. Okay, so remaining is extension. Remaining chain is chain only. So this is for just for understanding. Guys, understand lease duration. and these are all not authorized DHCP server scope, other things. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is now this is lease duration. The next one is reservation. Next one is reservation. Better I will stop here and just relax for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes only. I will show you reservation, how to do reservation, and then I will start. We'll take another 5-10 minutes break. Okay.